Deep calls to deep. If we want to experience the depth and breadth and length of God's love, Song of Solomon shows us how. Top of the morning to you. When we read Song of Songs with the eyes of love and a firm determination to get to know God better, we see this book as a love experience between God and His believers. It details the kind of closeness we can expect when we get into secret place experiences just between us and God. In chapter 1, we learn this, verse 2. God's love is better than wine, which is intoxicating. It provides a warm and relaxed feeling. When we get close enough, we can smell His fragrance, which is like perfume, verse 3. God woos us to come into the secret place, verse 4. It says, draw me. Our response to this is to rejoice that He called us and that He thinks enough of us to draw us near. In verse 5, of course, we don't consider ourselves worthy. I am dark, but you are lovely and pleasant. Verse 6, don't look at me, Lord. I'm not well kept. I'm busy and don't take time out to take care of myself. But this is clear in verse 7. My soul, my mind, will, and emotions love you, God. God so graciously replies in verse 9, you are my favorite. Verse 10, I see you as beautiful. As any lover would respond in kind, verse 15, you, God, are beautiful. You have dove eyes fixed with no peripheral vision. Verse 16, we declare God is beautiful and delightful. Verse 17 talks about how when we live together, our home and how we live together. In chapters 2, we see more of this loving interaction in the secret place encounter. And verse 2 says, God tells us that we are like lilies of the valley, growing in deep, difficult places. Verse 3, we think of God as an apple tree, where under His shadow we delight to sit and visit, while simultaneously delighting in His fruit, which is sweet and tasty. In verse 4, we love how God brings us into His banqueting table and how His banner of protection and comfort is love. Verse 6 says that we can feel God's embrace. God is eager for us to get alone with Him in verse 10. While we're with Him, God tells us He loves us to see our face in verse 14 and how our voices to Him is sweet. We get so close to God that in these secret place experiences that when we dream, we get nightmares, explained in chapter 3, verses 1 through 6, that our one true love is missing and we desperately search for Him. Word of encouragement, Song of Songs can be read as an allegory or as literal or as a mix. When we read to search out the hidden meaning, in other words, the allegory, it's clear that this is a love relationship we can have with the love of our lives, Father God, through Jesus. This must be what's meant when it says deep calls to deep. Question is, how deep do we want to go in our love relationship with Father God? Have a great day.